Welcome to Wizard's Whimsy. I'm your host, Patrick. So today we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of housekeeping. So Gavin did announce on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, he did announce that on February 11th, there will be a check-in from him and the Commander panel. And one of the things that he did say to go ahead and set the expectations that there are no bans or unbans planned to be announced on February 11th. He did go on to say that we do have something to share. Now, whether it's the brackets, the Silver Border Project, have no idea. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 29 legendary creatures of AetherDrift or Aetherdrift, however you want to say it. We're just looking at the core set of AetherDrift. We're not looking at the commander decks. We're not looking at special guests. This is just the legendary creatures that are available and legal and standard in AetherDrift. So there are 29 of those. Now 13 of those are monocolored. Now of those 13, 5 of them are generic, meaning they have no abilities. 5 monocolor commanders that can be your commander for a Pauper Commander deck. Those could be fun to build around. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the ones that do have abilities. The first one is Speed Demon. He is a 5-drop, 3 generic and 2 black legendary creature demon. He is a 5/5. He does fill a mythic spot. He has flying, trample, and start your engines. Now, if you have no speed, it starts at 1. It increases once each of your turns when an opponent loses life. Max speed is 4. At the beginning of your end step, you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is your speed. So as soon as you play him, at the end step, you are going to lose a life and draw a card. Mu Yanling Windrider is a 4-drop, 2 generic and 2 blue. Legendary creature, human wizard pilot, 2/4. She also fills a mythic spot. When this creature enters, create a 3/2 colorless artifact vehicle token with crew 1. Vehicles you control have flying. Whenever one or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. You have Gonti, Knight Minister. He is a 4-drop, 2 generic, 2 black. Legendary creature, Aetherborn Rogue. He is a rare. He is 3/4. Whenever a player casts a spell they don't own, that player creates a treasure token. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller looks at the top card of that opponent's library and exiles it face down. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Mana of any type can be spent to cast a spell this way. Duretti, Rocketeer Engineer, he's a 5-drop, 4 generic and a red legendary creature, Goblin Artificer. He is a rare. He is a star 5. Duretti's power is equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. So the more artifacts you control, the bigger that he will be. Whenever Duretti enters or attacks, choose target artifact card in your graveyard. You may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return the chosen card to the battlefield. Basri, Tomorrow's Champion, 1 white mana, legendary creature, human knight, is a rare, 2/1. He has pale white, tap, exert Basri, create a 1/1 white cat creature token with lifelink. He also has cycling, 2 generic and a white. Discard this card, draw a card. When you cycle this card, cats you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Hazret, Godseeker, is a 2-drop, 1 generic, red, legendary creature, God. She is a mythic. She's a 5/3, indestructible, haste. Start your engines. Again, if you have no speed, it starts at 1, and then it increases on each of your turns when an opponent loses life. So that only occurs once each of your turns. You can pay 1 tap. Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Hazret can't attack or block unless you have max speed. Again, your max speed is 4. All right, I'm going to take a shot at this. I'm sure I'm going to get it wrong. Vinwixt, Veribos Host, is a 2-drop, 1 generic, a blue, legendary creature, Humoculus. He is a rare. He's 0/4. He has Start Your Engines. You have no maximum hand size, max speed. If you would draw a card, draw 2 cards instead. So if you like drawing cards, you want to get up to max speed as fast as possible with him. That way, anytime you draw a card, you are drawing 2 cards instead. Ovia, Automech Artisan, is a 4-drop, 3 generic, and a green legendary creature human artificer in the rare slot. 1/2. Each creature that's attacking one of your opponents has trample. Pay a green and tap. You may put a creature or vehicle card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you put an artifact onto the battlefield this way, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. And that is it for the mono colors. We'll go ahead and start looking at the other legendary creatures now. First up is Lagoran. It is a 2-drop, a green and a white, 1/1 legendary creature, beast mount. It is uncommon. Has flying whenever Lorgan attacks while saddled. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target mounts and or vehicles. It has saddle 1. Mendicant Core Guidelight is a 2-drop, a white and a blue legendary artifact creature, robot. It is rare. It has star 3. Mechanic Core's power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. It has Start Your Engine, and at max speed, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 1. If you do, copy it. Ketramos, the New Dawn, is one of the new gods from Amonkhet. It is a 3-drop, 1 generic, a white and a black. It is a mythic slot. It is a 4/4, menace, lifelink, indestructible. Ketramos can't attack or block unless there are 7 or more cards in exile. Whenever 1 or more cards are put into exile from graveyards and or battlefields, during your turn, you draw a card and you lose a life. You have Mimeoplasm, Revered One, X, black, green, blue. It is a mythic. It is a 0/0 legendary creature ooze. As Mimeoplasm enters, exile up to X creature cards from your graveyard. It enters with 3 +1/+1 counters on it for each card exiled this way. You can pay 2. Mimeoplasm becomes a copy of target creature card exiled with it, except it's a 0/0 and has this ability. Samit, the Driving Force, is a 6-drop, 3 generic, a red, green, and white. She is a rare legendary creature, human warrior cleric, a 4/5, has first strike, vigilance, and haste. Start your engines. Other creatures you control get +X/+0, where X is your speed. Non-creature spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is your speed. If Captain Howler, Sea Scourge, he is a 4-drop, 2 generic, a red, and a blue. He's a legendary creature shark pilot. He is in a rare spot. He is a 5/4. He has Ward 2, pay 2 life. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn for each card discarded this way. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, you draw a card. Colodin Triumph Caster. He is a 2-drop, a red and a white, legendary creature, human pilot. He is a rare. He is 2/3. Mounts and vehicles you control have haste. Whenever a mount you control enters, it becomes saddled until end of turn. Whenever a vehicle you control enters, it becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Winter Cursed Rider. He is a 2-drop, a blue and a black. He is a rare legendary creature, human warlock. He is a 3/2. He has Ward, pay 2 life. Artifacts you control have Ward, pay 2 life. He has Exhaust, 2, a blue and a black, tap, exile X artifact cards from your graveyard. Each other non-artifact creature gets -X until end of turn. You can activate each exhaust ability only once. Sabsunin, Luxa Embodied, is a 5-drop, 3 generic, a blue and a green, legendary creature god. She is in a mythic spot. She is a 6/6. She has reach, trample, and indestructible. Sabsunin can't attack or block unless it has an even number of counters on it. 0 is even. At the beginning of your first main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on Sabsunin. Then, if it has an odd number of counters on it, draw 2 cards. Carador, Heart of Alakra is a 4-drop, 2 generic, a green, and a white. Legendary creature, Human Knight in the rare spot, 4/2. When Caradora enters, you may search your library for a mount or vehicle card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. If one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature or vehicle you control, that many +1/+1/+1 counters are put on it instead. Far Fortune in Boss is a 4-drop, 2 generic, a black, and a red. Legendary creature, Human Mercenary in the rare spot, 4/5. Has Start Your Engines. Whenever you attack, Far Fortune deals 1 damage to each opponent. Max Speed. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1. Sita Varma Masked Racer is a 2-drop, blue and green. Legendary creature, Human Rogue in the rare spot, 2/3. Has Exhaust, X, pay green, green, blue. Put X +1/+1 counters on Sita. Then you may have the base power and toughness of each other creature you control become equal to Sita Varma's power until end of turn. Zahur Glory's Past is a 2-drop, white and black. Legendary creature, Zombie Cat Warrior. It is a rare. He is a 3/2, has Start Your Engine. Sacrifice another creature, Surveil 1. Activate only once each turn. Max Speed. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. Loot the Pathfinder is a 5-drop, 2 generic, a green, blue, and red. Legendary creature, Beast Noble. It is in the mythic spot. It is a 2/4. It has double strike, vigilance, and haste. It has 3 different exhausts. The first one is green, tap, add 3 mana of any one color. Then it has blue, tap, draw 3 cards, and finally red, tap, loot, deals 3 damage to any target. Now again, activate each exhaust ability only once. Redshift Rocketeer Chief is a 2-drop, a red and a green legendary creature, Goblin Pilot in the rare spot. Is a 2/3, has vigilance. Tap, add X mana of any one color where X is Redshift's power. Spend this mana only to activate abilities. It has exhaust, 10 and a red and a green. Put any number of permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. At Chick, Emerald Radian is a 6-drop, 3 generic, 2 black, and a green legendary creature, Insect Druid in the rare spot. It is a 3/3. When At Chick enters, create a 1/1 green insect creature token for each artifact and or creature card in your graveyard. Whenever another insect you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on At Chick. Each opponent loses 1 life. So those are the legendary creatures from AetherDrift. Now, I want to know which ones you're most excited about. So go ahead and leave that comment below. Again, we're just talking about the ones in the main set. We're not talking about the Commander or the special guest cards. We're just talking about what is in the base set. I'm not sure if I missed any. Hopefully I didn't. If I did, let me know which one I missed in the, down below as well. So which one would you like to see me build? I'll build any one of them and let y'all set, how do you want it built? Do you want it built high powered? Do you want it built casual and fun? Do you want it built kind of janky? How would you like to see it built? I'll go ahead and do that and put a deck tech out for it, and also make sure that I put the deck list out. Of course, it'll be on Moxfield. So go ahead and let me know what you would like to see built, and I'll go ahead and work on that and try to get that out for you next week. As a reminder, we do have the pre-release coming up Friday, so hopefully everyone's geared up for that and ready for that. I am excited to get that Energy Commander deck. I will not be keeping it as its base self. I will be adding cards to it. So if you'd like to see what cards I would add to make the deck feel a little bit more cohesive, or even to increase the power level of it, let me know, and I'll make sure that I'll put something out to let you know what cards I took out and what cards I put in, if that's something that you're interested in seeing. Valentine's Day is when the set is fully released, so if you're looking to get that special someone some Magic cards for Valentine's Day, perfect opportunity to do that. And you can actually look in the description below, because I do have links to products on Amazon that are for Magic the Gathering, and some of these are listed there. Of course, if you use any of those links, I do get a small commission at no cost to you whenever you use a link in any of my descriptions. So go ahead and check those out if that's something that you're interested in. Not only is the Magic products, but there are cases and sleeves as well. So go ahead and check that out. Make sure you're ready for pre-release this weekend and start your engines and get ready to race. Until next time, keep slinging those spells.